Yeah, it becomes a different pursuit, right? Like I really enjoyed chasing max strength
Yeah.
in the window I did it. Just because I wanted to find out, right? Like I mean,
Yeah.
after years of now looking back at like what the awareness was of what I loved about competing now that I can't,
Hmm.
right? So like being able to break down that sport, because if I simply say like, well, I'm not happy unless I can do the Highland Games,
Right.
I'm in a real troublesome spot because I can't do the Highland Games anymore.
Mm.
Like I can't even go be bad at it. Like my knee's just not gonna do that anymore.
Right.
Um,
Because you're just going to add more risk than reward over time.
correct, correct, right. And I'm not personally turned on by trying to figure out the metric of how far I can throw now, older and hurt. I
Makes
don't
sense.
care what my squat max would currently be anymore, but I understand that having strength is important, right? I understand what options being strong gives me. Um, and so now getting to look at it differently, like I found out all my max effort metrics. I'll never be stronger than I was during the window when I found all those things out. So cool. Like if my record board of life is up on the wall, like I got it. I got to see the best high school football player I can be. And now that chapter's closed. I'm not trying to continue to pursue that in my 20s. I
Hmm.
got to see the level of track athlete I could be while I was in college. And then that door shuts because, well, college is over and I wasn't going to the Olympics. And
I think that's
then,
a really you're like touching on a really important point where people tend to live in their past. Like they try to cling to that past version or vision of themselves and they can't step away from it or shed it in some sense and like be able to grow into the next version of who they want. Like what do they want to aim for, I guess, even though
yeah,
like
it's really tough to shed that identity, including me, man. Yeah, I really thought I had my head wrapped around it because even the whole time I competed, there's something I always called being in on the joke. And being in on the joke for me was whether it was powerlifting or whether it was weight training, any of those type of things. That like I already, because I have spare time to chase something as silly as figuring out how absolutely strong I can get, that already means my life's pretty great, right? Like I don't have to go hunt food tonight or chop wood to build a fire to not die. And so
yeah.
like I'm doing fake work to build muscles I don't need for the help of survival. So it's already a cool piece. And so I remember being in on the joke of like, nope, it doesn't matter how far I throw this rock today. Like it's not gonna land on the great things that have ever taken place in human history. So it removes a little bit of that weight, which
Yeah.
means it's only important to me. So I'm not doing it for some outside validation. I don't want to walk around trying to remind people that I was a world champion. I love the fact that whenever you said the things that it got me here wasn't Highland Games and didn't bring it up. Fucking great. That means this is all going according to plan. That I'm doing something cooler now than continuing to have to talk about a thing I got done doing in 2016.